It was a best of 3 last time, so I'm going to assume it's the same. I could be wrong though. Anyways, on the left-hand side of the Winter Meltdown will be Futurama playing as the Cyan Mark of Kane. On the right-hand side will be Futurama as the Green GDI. Not Green Zero, it is Green Drive. Did I say Green Futurama? I meant to say Green Drive. Anyway, he's over here. Green Zero map though, he basically designed this map and got someone else to make it for him because he doesn't know how to do anything except, you know, complain about people complaining about hammerheads. I was talking to him the other day about hammerheads and their OP, and he's like, "Oh, just build Mantis." Yeah, Mantis suck. Have you seen their armor? Mantis armor is like stealth tank armor. They literally copied the stealth tank and they made it the Mantis, and it dies instantly. And it takes like 1,000,000 years to open fire on the enemy hammerhead. The Mantis just looks at the hammerhead, and like 5 seconds later, it decides to shoot, and then the Mantis is dead. You know, in practice, it doesn't work out. On paper, the Mantis is good, but I hate the unit. I hate it so much. It's the worst unit in the game, design-wise. I hate the Mantis with a passion. Not only that, but they messed it up in so many ways that it's just embarrassing. Double ref for Futurama on the left-hand side. He's not going to have no Mantis. He's going to have the real deal, the stealth tank. None of that garbage Mantis. On the right-hand side, Drive 3 and 2. Mantis OP? Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe in 1.03 where CGS made it like 1,000 times better. Like the Mechapede. I was watching him showcase that mechas are good versus aircraft, and he wasn't kidding. One Mechapede killed 5 zone heads out of the sky in one shot. Like literally. And you can't Firehawk harass Skrin because the Mechapede just kills the Firehawk in like a millisecond. And then Charles at the same time is saying that Skrin don't have good anti-air, and he doesn't build a single Mechapede. And I found it hilarious actually. CGF was actually annoyed with Charles in the call. He was talking to Charles, like flaming him. Like, oh, you're the worst player ever. You don't know how to play this game. You're shit, etc. I found it funny. The dynamic between these two players, CGF and Charles, I have to say I had a good laugh watching it. Anyways, back to this game. Scorpion tanks, they're going to meet their match. They're going to see all of these pipples right here. Scorpion tanks need to be in numbers or else they're just going to get overwhelmed. As you're seeing here, that the tanks will repel this. Futurama forced to drop that back after his third. Drive over here on the right hand side. He is... well, I don't know if that Pipple harass did anything. Futurama's probably going to be pretty happy about that. There is a garrisonable structure for Drive here. This is always going to be taken by GDI, I reckon. So you can probably follow up with like 2 rockets, but then your opponent can just sell a tier 2 and de-garrison that, so maybe not. Mark of Kane has a pretty good de-garrisoning unit. I feel like the Tip Trooper does a better job at de-garrisoning compared to the Black Hand. I'm not sure if it's like the projectile or what, but it just works instantly. The Black Hand takes like a second before the unit goes out of the building. So it's not a bad unit for clearing buildings, the Tip Trooper. Also, once again, I'm in the player mode because for a brief time I decided to play versus Drive, and let me just turn this down again to that, to a sensible level. Spike getting taken out. Drive continuing up with this Seeker spam, and as you can see there's a lot of... this map's lighting is pretty intense. Futurama versus Drive. Yeah, thanks for that, Somnambulist. Thank you very much, sir. My trusty admin moderator. Look at that, Tip Trooper, as mentioned, to de-garrison the building. Is he going to get the cybernetic legs though? That's the question. Probably not worth it. He's going to go straight for stealth tanks, because Drive will be going for hammerheads. If I hop over to the right-hand side, what's the chance there's going to be hammerheads? What is this? It's not a hammerhead. It's a what? Orca? What is that? That's a new aircraft for GDI. He's building orcas. No hammerheads. Interesting. Probably to kill the stealth tanks. You could go for sensor pods and just litter them all over the map. There is stealth tanks out. Now, orcas are good versus stealth tanks, but the thing is, the stealth tank will be killing harvesters before your orcas realize that they need to be killing the stealth tanks. That's why you need that early warning. Scorps could be in here to, you know, pull this army in for a deadly tip vein. Drive is walking into his doom. He's moving into the tip field. What is he doing? He's moving into the tip field. He's moving in the tip. He can get all these pitbulls with a tip vein. Why is he still sitting here? Is he distracted? Oh, he's killing harvesters over here. Maybe Futurama is distracted on that. Drive catching a lucky break with his army, almost losing all of it. 3 harvesters get destroyed there, so the hammerheads worked out pretty well. A stealth tank was beaconed. Drive saw a tree get knocked down. That is a thing on maps like this. You can, the trees will get run over, and your opponent can see that. The tree will just reveal that you've got a unit there. Oh, he's going to move into the infantry. As a result, the stealth tank will be briefly detected. You can't walk into infantry because infantry can detect in a small radius. More stealth tanks coming out. Look at that juicy op-center dish spinning right there. Stealth tanks out in force. Is he going for tip core? Probably. We probably don't even need to check for that. Yeah, he is. Orcas still continue to do damage, so I feel like Drive's in a better spot overall. Though, maybe not so much if he doesn't get a Marv out. He's going for a structure here. What is this going to be? A recommender hub? There we go. He's going to get that out. He's going to contest this middle field. Drive on Futurama getting his Redeemer out. Vertigos? You know what? He could... You know, I like Vertigos in this position because he can use the tail gun on the Vertigo bombers to kill the Orcas and just bomb the Juggernauts afterwards. That's just amazing if he pulls that off. Does he get the same CV drive? Not quite. He probably hasn't got an Orca strike done either. He used it not long ago. 1 pitbull there. Yeah, not going to kill that MCB. Engineer gets in there. Spike. Stealth tank takes out the pit. Tip core is on, so Hammerhead's probably not going to be a threat anymore. There is Juggernauts. A lot of Juggernauts moving in. This is kind of predictable though. This is why I like the... What is this MCB doing? Yeah, this MCB just took damage there. He just moved the MCB into his doom. Sonic Minute comes down as well, so he just basically gifted that to Drive. He's like, hey, you Drive, do you want this MCB, buddy? And he's like, yeah, sure, just give it here. 3, 4 orcas kind of dancing around a typical Sam turret. Sam turret does get destroyed. Drive convincingly taking this field here. What is he doing? Is that a stealth tank? The hell is that? I don't even know what that was. Probably an engineer. Stealth tank gets killed by Jugs. That's embarrassing. Redeemer, yeah. I mean, once that rage done is done, that's basically kind of RNG with this support power. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He's going to get it. That's 10 seconds of EMP duration on that. Once the Redeemer falls, I fully expect Drive to take this game. Futurama falling apart here. His Redeemer's going low on health. He's going to get it chased down. The Marv has no garrisons. He needs to put the Zone Trooper in there. Unless he's got the scanner packs, in which case he can use it for stealth detection. Nice jump jet actually. Kills that Spectre. Nice work there. But if he doesn't kill the Redeemer, that's bad. He's actually using the... oh man, he's not killing the Redeemer. The Redeemer escapes. What is this avatar doing? Move back. What? Just move back, please. Yes. 2 Spectres. Only 1 Jug fell. You know, not garrisoning his Marv was actually a good thing in the end, because his Marv, when it got raged, didn't do any damage to the Juggernauts nearby. Second MCV, the Redeemer survives. This is actually a miracle that this survives. But there's just so much here. Look at that. 7 Juggernauts. Drive doesn't need to be concerned about anything except Vertigos at this point. So... Oh, he's going Vertigos, yeah. A bit late, though. 1 out on the map. I wouldn't have revealed them with only 1. Though he decided to kill the Husk, which is understandable. There is 1 here, though, defending this Husk. It's going to be a high price to pay to kill this Husk. There is an Awakened squad coming in here. That's likely going to get taken out. The engineer could get destroyed. No, he's not going to kill the engineer. Surely not, right? You can still capture husks even when they're EMP'd. Emped husks don't actually do anything. Is that a bug? Like, if you EMP a husk, should you be allowed to capture it? That's a question. Because I imagine if the husk has no power, if it's empty, then how can you capture it and restore the husk? That's interesting. I always wanted to find some way of nerfing husks so they're not so ridiculous and easy to capture when you're base pushing. Maybe that's one way of doing it. Really only a thing for Mark of Kane though. This base gets absolutely torn up. Redeemer is here. The NG can bring the power back on. Oh, well, I guess. Yeah, I suppose so. That makes sense as well. These are very good, as we saw in that previous game on Odyssey. Awakened squad in mass. You got infinite EMP. Your opponent's units can't do anything if you keep locking them down. Hammerheads are out. AP ammo online. Hammerhead doesn't quite chase that one back. Tipcore is done though for Futurama. That's good news for him. This Vertigo is going to get absolutely massacred. There we go. And with it, Drive decides to call the GG. Did I say Drive? I meant Futurama. So it's going to be Skrin versus GDI in this game here. It is the loser bracket final. And on the left-hand side will be Futurama as the Cyan Skrin. He is currently down 0-1 in this series. Drive over on the right-hand side will be the green GDI. He is currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. He has one more game to win to secure himself $30. He'll be guaranteed a cash prize if he wins this game of $30. The winner of the grand final will take $70. So there is $100 up for grabs. It's all or nothing basically for the finalists. The attendance is pretty low, but the competition is good. We're seeing the usual faces here like Futurama, Drive, Shock Trip It, Bike Rush, myself streaming, not playing. Maybe I'll play next time. Anyway, it's going to be Skrin versus GDI here on Arena. Interesting how Futurama decided to pick Skrin. Maybe he's going to go to War Factory Dev Tank spam with an MCV push. Blackhand would be great on this map. Yeah, this is the map where Blackhand would be good because you can go Infantry and then you can go for Flame Tank when your opponent's building APCs and not Preds. And then you can just switch between Flame Tanks and Infantry depending on what your opponent's building. You can even go beam cannons as well on this map. It's a small distance between your opponent's second field and your second field, so you can just move across this map with beam cannons and take him out. The beam cannon vision radius is pretty low though, so you need to like build 1 or 2 buggies so you can scout for the beam cannons, or else your beam cannons will be not shooting at your opponent because they are artillery units. They just don't have vision range. That's their real downside. This has been buffed in 1.03, but I feel like all the buffs in 1.03 made the units OP and broken. GDI base push used to be very good on this map too. Yeah, 2 War Factory is really good, but against Blackhand, not so much some of the bullets. Against GDI Skrin, I don't know. That'll be interesting. Especially with the buffed guarding cannons. Guarding cannons are a little bit better than before, not hugely better. But it will help the GDI base push if they decide to do it. Looks like Driver is going for an eco play. Futurama has moved his drone into a more aggressive expansion position. He's going for something other than a rev. Deciding to drop a nerve center. Okay, so he's maybe going for a 2 War Factory dev tank play. He's going to move his drone ship up and take it to Drive's expansion. Drive... He's GDI, so he's got decent armor. As long as he scouts this early, he should be able to stop it. There is a gunwalker out. Let's go see Drive's vision here. He can see the MCV poking out. He's building 34 Pred tanks. He sees the 2nd War Factory. He's queuing a 2nd War Factory now. He's got that 3rd ref up. And a second harvester on the expansion field, so he's already ahead massively in this game. There's only 2 dev tanks out, so does this push even work? Aeonian used to do something like this back in the day. It wouldn't have been too much different to what we're seeing here. Except he did it on 1 ref, and it's not going to work on 1 ref because your opponent tip field is tucked away in the corner, like it's defending your harvesters. So dev core won't work here on 1 field. I just don't, I mean, no way. 3 dev tanks, 2 charged up. He drives massing forces. There's 5 tanks out here, and these harvesters are not being interrupted in their harvesting. There is no corruptors to speak of. These pred tanks, he's going to... I mean, if he trades 1 dev for 1 pred tank, that's a horrible trade. The 2 pred tanks immediately fall for drive. That's a good pickup for Futurama. Futurama here, kiting well with the dev tanks. That's one big change, though, from Tip Wars to Kane drive. You can actually shoot and move with the dev tanks. The Predator tanks are being absolutely mowed down here. There's 1 or 2 tanks there, but photon cannons coming down for Futurama. 1 tank gets destroyed. The production was halted, mind you. Look at that. And even a warp spear coming down for that repair, so he can use the repair. There's only a harvester and 1 pred tank, so when this stasis shield expires, it's not a big deal. There's not a huge army coming out to kill him with. And look at this. Let me bring up the help bar so we can see this here. Look at that. The micro from Futurama doesn't need to be great because he's just going to win this fight. Look at that. Apparently the dev core is good. Dev core powerful, guys. Go Zokas, he's GDI. Well, there you go. 2 ore factory devs can punish through refineries very effectively on that map. Futurama's probably happy that I'm choosing maps for him because so far, when I've been choosing maps for Futurama, he hasn't been losing. Let's go. So, on the right hand side will be Futurama playing as the Cyan GDI, and on the right... Okay, so he did what? He played... Okay, he picked screen and then he's gone back to GDI. These guys, they can't decide what they're playing. But he's going to be GDI. On the left-hand side will be green drive as the black hand. How many Cabals is he building? 1 or 2. Not nearly as potent as they once were when it came to anti-scouting. He's got 4 Cabals out on the map. As you see here, I've got this alt lighting here, which you can get for yourselves, guys, if you download the 4K add-on. If you Google 4K add-on, it will appear as the first result. It's even in the About section of my Twitch channel. It's everywhere. You search me, you'll find it. You want it. You need it for Kane Draft. Because the game looks a lot better with it. And the 1.02 plus map packs. You don't play 1.03, you play 1.02 plus. It's a much better patch. You get those maps, and the 4K add-on will work best with them because there's additional features for it. But yeah, I may as well just get my advertising out of the way here. So let's see what Drive decides to do in this game. It is pretty favored for black for GDI on this map. I've had a good amount of games on this map, like with Phoenix and Wookiebert, players like that back in the day. And typically GDI do get the better, you know, they do have a higher win rate on this map. Flame tanks, yeah, but it will be spotted, that's the thing, right? Back in the day, this wouldn't be spotted and it would be deadly. He's going to spot it early. If the flame tank comes out, it spots it immediately. He's even going for a Reckoner. Okay. The Reckoner I like because it will force the Pred tank or the Pip or whatever he's building to focus on the Reckoner while the flame tank goes unharmed. So you've got the flame tank here, a veteran flame tank. Black hand flame tanks do start as veteran. There's a Reckoner moving in. He's deciding, it looks like he's going for the base instead of the spike. He's going for a Pred tank and a Pitbull here, Futurama on the right. Black hand squad going to garrison this building. I like this from Drive. I like this a lot. He's not expending his forces. He's making Futurama overspend on stuff, and he's actually just going to pull his stuff back. I like it. Second MCV, but he gets caught selling his MCV. Why would you sell your MCV? Your opponent knows. He knows immediately. Did surely Drive knew about this. Oh man, that's terrible. That's awful. Drive, but Futurama just needs to go for a second war factory here and spam Preds and he wins. That's all he has to do. I mean, he's got 3 and 2, but he can build a second another harvester and go for his own all in with 2 war factory. And there's no way Bikes will be able to contend with that. Now, this didn't work against Bike, but Bike is Bike. Let's see if this is going to be any different here. I don't like Drive's play to do this in an ace match. You'd think that after the last tournament that this wouldn't be his play. Loads of pits being made, but you know, the army situation for a Drive is pretty decent. If these Pipples shoot a Raider Buggy, for instance, in this fight, and the Bikes kill the pits, then that's a big deal. Oh, look at that. That Pred tank inadvertently caused the Bikes to splash down like 3 of the Bikes. So even though the gun or the Pred didn't do anything, the Pred just being there did a lot of damage. Look at that. The Pipples here going to engage. Bikes do decently against Pipples when they're all clumped up like that. Look at that. Again, look at this. These Bikes, they need to watch where they're firing because friendly fire is a thing in this game. Reckoner gets deployed in this base. Where's the flame tank? The flame tank is not here. Unless it got destroyed. I believe it got destroyed before. The Reckoner isn't going to kill this MCV. He's going to try and go for the MCV, but it's just too much. Even if the MCV were lost at this point, it's not a big deal for Futurama. As you see here, Futurama, 2 Preds in the south, 2 Preds in the north, 3 Preds here. If Futurama should just pack his MCV up and get repairs near the war factory. This costs nothing. You sell those watchtowers off, pack the MCV and get repairs in like 2 seconds. And he doesn't have to repair it with money. He's wasting money. Okay, what is he doing now? Drive deciding to go back for an MCV, but it's a bit late, don't you think? Futurama's about to put down a 3rd refinery. Oh no, that's a power plant. Okay, good news for Drive yet. Drive, after this game, should surely consider not doing this in the future. In an ace match. I mean, sure, in a game where you're not in this position, but in an ace match, definitely not. Black Hand, though, their strength is rushing, and if you're not rushing successfully, it's not good. Drive, Futurama, he's doing a good job just sitting here passively, waiting for the engagement to come. As you see, he's splitting his forces up. There is no flame tank on the map, but he doesn't know that. He may believe that there's one left on this map. Pitbull's heading out, but they're heading out to engage a lot of Bikes. I don't think Futurama realizes just how many Bikes there are. Drive may be liking his chances here. I think during this time, Drive has been rebuilding his aims, but he's actually got a second ref on his main field. Look at that. Second ref on the main field. But it's going to be soon lost, that small lead that he has, because Futurama's going to get his 3rd refinery down. But yeah, he has overspent. I completely agree. There's too many Predator tanks there. Preds can't just move across the map. That's a really ballsy play, though. You know your opponent has overspent on Pred tanks, so you'd think that it's not wise to go to where the Pred tanks are, because the Preds will just walk into your MCV and kill you. Like, there's literally 6-7 Pred tanks there. If the Preds decide to move in, that's problematic. Flame tank, what? So apparently he didn't lose the flame tank. Again, this minimap in this game is just terrible. I didn't even see the flame tank. Futurama probably didn't even see it either, but he got lucky. Or rather, he didn't Q move his forces like everyone else and got out of position. This is hopeless to engage this force. That's basically impenetrable for Bike Buggy. Bikes being left behind here to their doom. Unfortunate, those Pred tanks are going to clean those up. I don't know if Futurama's aware that the expansion is here for Drive. Let me go see his vision real quick. I'm not sure about this. He sees no expansion, so he may assume that there's still an all-in.
On hold. Cancelled. Enemy unit sighted.
So the way he reacts to this is, I don't think he's reacting any differently. He's just convinced that there's something up. Oh, he sees a second refinery. So he probably now knows that the expansion is not in the south, but nearer to him. Pipples get taken out. That's a nice win for Drive. He really needed that. There's also an infantry play. There's no AP ammo, so this inf may work. We may see one game in Kane's draft where Black Hand Infantry does work. And the element of surprise, Black Hand Infantry spam. Let's see how this goes. The MCV has also decided to make for the bottom field. Drive is playing ultra unorthodox. He is running out of Tiberium there. He really should have rallied these harvesters over there sooner. There's a ton of infantry coming. Looks like Drive Futurama is aware of what's coming. He's building shadow tanks. There's also a wall of watchtowers being produced, so the element of surprise has gone. And this infantry spam, yeah. AP ammo is halfway done. Let's keep an eye on this upgrade. It's this upgrade here that's going to determine the outcome of this fight. And the shadow attack. If the shadow attack goes down in one shot or two, yeah, these shat tanks are a nuisance because they can one-shot kill the rockets. And Drive's not even engaging this force, he's just letting him get AP ammo. You can't sit here and let him get AP ammo, man, because the moment he gets that, it's going to be game over, I reckon. And this Drive makes an extraordinary comeback, the likes of which we've never seen in this game before. Now, he still does have this bike buggy force, but it looks like it was cut down in size a lot. A lot of tanks here, AP ammo, almost complete. He's actually got AP ammo now. Look at that, the command post with those glows on it, those night lights. And the zone and the shadow tanks as well in my alt mod, as you see, have a different house color to it. That's why I call it the alternate version, because it's got some alt stuff in there. I don't know what Drive's plan is. He's got all this infantry, but he's just walking all over the map with this infantry. He's not pushing in. There's just way too much here. Look at that. 4, 5 shadow tanks, APCs, Preds, infantry, MCV moving out as well. It's just futile, isn't it? How does he stop that? There's a second refinery on the field in the bottom of the map. Futurama is going for his third base. And now it's Futurama who's just walking around this map. Now, he does have slow tanks, slow vehicles, so he can't really respond as quick as what Drive can, but he's just going to encompass this army and totally destroy it. Look at that, nice micro from Drive. He's actually selecting his forces and not Q moving them. So he's trying to get the most out of his forces here. 2 more APCs will fall. I guess he'll be happy about that. But I think Futurama is feeling pretty confident about this. He feels that he has the momentum. He's going to push in with his huge tank army. But having said that, there is a massive infantry wall forming here, like a massive an absolute crap load of infantry. But I still don't think it's enough, guys. I don't think it's going to be enough. The shadow tanks are going to be what's going to do it. The Pred tanks are moving in for the crush. Let's keep an eye on this fight right here. It's a pretty tough one to call at the moment. Those Shad tanks are unanswered in the back, causing so much damage. The Predator tanks are not crushing the infantry. They are now. There's more reinforcing inf on the left-hand side. There's more inf, but they're all clumped up. One Shadow tank shot through the rest of that force. They'll clean them up. There's also an orchestra coming in as well, which is bad news. This force is getting cleaned up quickly. That rocket bunch here needs to be scatter moved. He's not scattering it. This force is being slowly depleted in size. Black Hand Inf is doing it. Can you believe it? The Black Hand Infantry kills that force. The Shadow tanks, I feel like they need to be more microed. Like they were just shooting disciples. Wow, that's crazy from Drive. He holds that back. But I actually do fancy his position here because look, he's been so much more cost effective. Look at this field situation for Drive. He's got half a field left. If he did the mix, I reckon if he did the, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly the mix you're talking about. If he also built some beam cannons, it would have been helpful as well against the Shadowers. But I actually do think he did well there. Futurama made the mistake of not microing his Shadow tanks to kill the rockets. There was a bunch of moments there where a couple Shadow tanks would shots would kill Drive's force, but luckily for Drive, Futurama didn't micro them. On the top of the map, we see Futurama establishing his third. Drive's getting his third, but he's got way more TIB at his disposal. He can afford to waste more forces at this point. Now, seeing all this infantry here, I would imagine Futurama has only one thing on his mind, and that would be hammerhead spam. Is he building them? That's building way too quick to be a near field. He's probably going to be a power plant or something. You know, Futurama has no army. He has a base, but he doesn't have any army. He's going for a second MCV. I don't really like engaging into towers. He needs to use the decoy army on this. Decoy army, please. Please, 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 please. He's not doing a decoy army. I don't think it's going to matter, but if he did use it here, you just crush this army and this watchtower defense. Watchtowers are falling. All the Cabals are dead, so that's bad. That's the thing about Cabals. You want to keep them at the back of your force so they don't get killed on the front line instantly. That's one bad thing about the range nerf that we did to the Cabals. They run forward into the enemy anti-infantry and they die. The first thing that dies is your buffing units. And the way to circumvent that is by making sure your infantry aren't running forward. So put them on hold ground starts, your Cabals, and just sit them behind your rockets so they don't die instantly. And then you'll keep that rate of fire buff going because, as you saw there, Drive was forced to pull back because they just became regular rockets. He still hasn't got Cabal squads. He needs more Cabals. Look at this army. This is the problem. This is why Black Hand Nymph doesn't do anything now. Because most people just attack with nothing but rockets when they're not using the Cabal buff. These are not being buffed with the armor. They're even being suppressed here by that singular juggernaut. He can't engage this. He has to push back. Yeah. I was about to say there's flame tanks coming out here. At this point, I would build beam cannons. Beam cannons would even kill the sniper teams. Flame tanks in the back of the base here as well for Drive could be devastating. There is a Pred tank though. Unfortunately, that Pred tank must be so frustrating for Drive. Beam cannons would be the way to go. If I would Drive, beam cannons. Or purifiers, that works as well. But yeah, this purifier, if it runs forward and crushes this infantry force, that's pretty good. Purifier running forward. The Juggernaut needs to avoid focus fire to the ground. He's focusing the flame tank. That one purifier there being focused by the Jug. As you can see, Futurama is really trying to focus fire to the ground with that singular Juggernaut. Look at that. Sniper teams in the back too doing work. There's one Juggernaut, just a singular Juggernaut. Oh, look at that! That bug with the decoy army doing real damage. These purifiers. If he kills the Juggernaut with his infantry, he may be able to just crush this base. Mind you, there is one or two Jugs in the back. This is problematic. Once this Juggernaut spam out, it's just so hard to deal with this. MCV does get repaired. There's plenty of fuel left in the tank for Futurama over here on the right. Redeemer's almost out for Drive. He's building an obelisk too. Yeah, but he just forces... losing forces. The Redeemer is out. Okay, and the Spectre's out. Drive is, you know, losing money now. Oh, there's a commando. Where did this... what? There's a commando there. Just one random ass commando just out of nowhere. He must be taking cues from me in my games because that's like my move. Oh man. Oh my god, he sold his MCV as well. That commando did so much damage. Is that his whole production? Oh my god, that commando just won the game. He has nothing left. He has no war factory. He only has a barracks. That commando. He had a tier 2 this whole time. Yeah, he got it here. He could have just fenced it. He could have just fenced the building. Oh, actually no. Once you give the commando with the C4, the fence doesn't work. I just remembered. Is that a flame tank? No, it's a bike. That's not enough. Nice defense, by the way, from Futurama while this is all happening. There is 2 Spectres. Okay. I mean, maybe Futurama won't expect there to be the no production. He may just think that this is a war factory. These 2 Spectres need to work a lot to win this. Yeah, they need to be extremely cost effective. Juggernaut's focus firing these Spectres. Yeah, Futurama's on point. He's not actually focusing well with the Spectres' Drive. That shockwave doing so much damage. Look at that. Redeemer's already on half health. Can't believe how much damage that commando did. He had supercharged particle beam, shredder turrets and everything, and it just killed the Black Hand player. So the way this is going, it looks like Bike Rush will be playing Futurama in this grand final series once more. Looks like Drive's going to make a final stand with this infantry play. Redeemer Infantry is the name of the game for Drive. He's got this one Spectre, a bunch of infantry, and a Redeemer. Futurama will probably expect there to be nothing but Inf coming now. There's no production. He took out the MCV. Juggernauts in mass. Marv coming out as well. There's even a sniper there. He can just build a freaking towers to the end of the day and he'll be fine. And this Redeemer is going to die in one shot here to these Juggernauts. He's just going to go down instantly if he focuses now. Yeah, the Redeemer's dead. That's it. There's nothing else to kill the base with. Look how quickly that fell. And then people like CGF are like, epic units are too strong. Nerf epic units. They're so hard to kill. Yeah, everyone should just show him this footage here. Epic units don't really last that long against units such as Jugs. I mean, he exaggerates it. He thinks that you just need an epic unit and you can win against like 10 Juggernauts or something like that. It's not how it works. You need an army. There's no way around it. It's a best of 7, which means the first player to reach that 4 games wins the series and the tournament. This has been a 2-day tournament. We're finishing it today, and this is the final series of it, the grand final. Jedi Mirror on Tournament Arena will start things off. Classic map. And down on the right hand side will be Bicrush as the red GDI. And in the top left, Futurama also as the cyan GDI. Interesting map. Not sure if it was Onch who chose this map for the first map, but it's interesting because this was the map where we left off when these two guys faced off last time. If you guys recall, it was Tournament Arena where they held the last game. So let's see if Futurama has something else up his sleeve in this game and on this map, because last time he got overrun by a rig. Funny. I mean, it would have been... I'm curious, is Bike going to do a rig rush at least once in this series? Because we all know that Futurama is a little bit vulnerable to the rig rush. Most players have learned how to counter it, but Futurama still lagging a bit behind. Maybe Bike Rush will pick up on that vulnerability again. A lot of rifles, of course, for either side, looking to get near the enemy power plant so they can dig a foxhole, be a nuisance, and just force the other guy to repair it. And to respond with watchtowers, and, you know, in the worst case scenario, a predator tank, which will delay the opponent's harvesting by 11 seconds. So they won't be able to build a harvester for 11 seconds. Probably not worth it. I think when people respond to the foxholes that way, it puts them very behind because you're delaying your war factory's production. Anyway, since I stopped overclocking my graphics card, my stream has been stable, so that's a lesson to me. I'm going to try and get it stable though, because it's fun. I used to enjoy overclocking, but nowadays there's like barely any headroom at all. Look at that power plant. Taking damage once more. This is like Bike Rush's favourite move in the early game. That power plant's already down to half health almost, which is absolutely insane. MCB not going to take it much damage. No rushes from either side. Power plant though is taking some serious damage over here on the left. This is forcing Futurama to again waste 14 seconds on pitballs to counter this. 4 harvesters for Futurama. 5 harvesters out for Bike. Look at this. Those 4 rifle scouts in the start of this game has allowed Bike Rush to sneak in an extra harvester compared to Futurama. This is a significant deal, guys. And these 2 pitbulls are useless against the pred tanks which are coming. He's actually building a refinery as well, so not only did he overreact to the foxhole, he's also playing into the 2 war factory by going for a 3rd refinery. This is not looking too good, guys. There's an APC and a bunch of pred tanks coming, probably on a rally point, Bike Rush. Futurama should know that this is a 2 war factory. The APC is here. What else could this mean? It's going to be 2 war factory. He's building presumably what could presumably be an MCV, a war factory. If there's not a war factory, he's dead. Gets the war factory down. This harvester may not even load in a single load of green tiberium. He needs to just unload it here. There's no point going to the refinery, your main. This is not under too much threat. There's only 4 pred tanks there. You have to repair, home advantage. APC does live. Bike Rush didn't commit to that 2-war factory too much. As you see, he's got a 3rd refinery down. The 2nd war factory didn't do too much. I mean, I guess it did delay Future Armor somewhat. Has he still got 4 halves on this field? No, he was able to squeeze out 1 more. So far, this game has progressed as I expected it would. Also, thanks for the follow. 2 harvesters and a 3rd at the expansion here. Yeah, we'll get cleaned up though. The pit bull trying to harass it. Future Armor deciding to let his tip field regrow, which could be a good thing. Like transitioning into infantry. Did he call in the GI airborne? Because you get 2 veteran rockets and rifles if you do that. Pretty good support power in my opinion. 4 refineries do come down for a bike. He puts it over here, which I like because it extends your build radius a little bit more, and you can put your reclamator hub a little bit nearer to your opponent or something like that. Building placement is quite relevant. Future Armor is just sitting here with his tanks. He doesn't have any anti-infantry. He's building watchtowers, but no AP ammo. Bike Rush doesn't seem to have composite armor either, which means this could be just a bluff. Maybe Future Armor will fall for it and he'll just spam AP ammo towers while the hammer transition becomes deadly. Is he going for Orcas here? Yeah, he's going Orcas. This is a very classic GDI mirror here, what we're seeing. Infantry, tanks, and aircraft all coming together. When used in tandem, they can be extremely potent for the GDI player. And it wasn't a lot of infantry, but generally when you see this many, you think, okay, there's a lot of stuff coming. This guy's pulling mind game or something. It looks like Future Armor is not falling for any bluff though. He's got 2 AA turrets down on his field here. Look at that, 2 towers. And also a pitbull. Pitbull's here as well. Bike moving in with his MCV. Does he have a tech as well? Yeah, he does. He's building juggernauts. He's building sonic emitters, most likely at this point. 1 harvester poised to go down. The pitbulls tried to respond to that. Not quite enough. Sonic emitter pops the harvester straight away. And look at that tank line just completely getting destroyed by this sonic emitter. That singular sonic emitter paid for itself double. Another sonic emitter fresh out of the line, going to be dropped. Double sonic emitter, which only could mean there's a 2 MCV. Future is ahead, only if he holds this off. Bike Rush is going for his own juggernauts. This is literally the kitchen sink being thrown at Future Armor currently. The harvest is being dropped 1 by 1. Another sonic emitter as well for Bike Rush. Expect to see yet 1 more. Bike Rush just better in this sort of game compared to Future Armor. Bike Rush takes that one there in very convincing fashion. Looking unstoppable these days, if I do say so. That'll give him a 2-0 advantage. This looks like he'll be walking away with it once more. Future Armor has to just step it up like a million times over. It's going to be 2-0 for Bike Rush. Future Armor needs to pull a rabbit out of the hat here. He's going to be GDI. Bike Rush with the scrin. Okay. Expect to see some heavy descent opening here from Bike. I do fully expect that, though maybe Future Armor does as well, because if I'm thinking of that, surely Future Armor being in the driving seat is also thinking of that. Anyways, on the right hand side will be Future Armor down in this series 2-0. He has a lot of work ahead of him here. He's going to be GDI. And on the left hand side will be Bike Rush as the red vanilla scrin. No Traveler, no Reaper 17, just regular old vanilla scrin. Looks like he's going for a double portal opening. Now, I did just say before this game started, there's going to be descents coming. So I highly suggest it's future. What? He's building buzzers from this one, but only I would have. Look, I would have personally just omitted these buzzers here and just gone for a bunch of descents, but he's playing this mind game. He's playing this mind game here. He's gonna make Futurama think that there's a lot of like buzzers coming. Oh, my opponent has 4 buzzers. That means he's not rushing descent. This is the sort of mind game that Bike Rush likes to play, and he's gonna conceal his disintegrators. He's going to the top of the map, so he's got some sort of long-term strategy in mind. Now, the only issue with that is the garrison wall structure here. It can see the whole of this area. Look at that. The moment those descents cross the blue tip field, he can see the descents. And that's not really going to work for Bike. And the Fogger Wall will take a while to recede. I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to do all this planning just to kill a Spike? He could have killed the Spike like immediately at the start of the game. There's 3 rifles scattered in the bottom. Looks like Futurama is well onto this. There's something coming. He feels like something may be coming, but he doesn't quite know just yet. Maybe he's waiting for the Harvester to appear at the blue tip field. Waiting for that 4th Harvester to go there. And to kill it. He wants to kill the half. Is it really worth it though? Making 4 descents at this stage of the game to kill a Harvester like 3 minutes in. That's not worth it. Surely not, right? Futurama doesn't see it. He's not suspecting of it. Does he know that something could be up? He's going for a pitbull. He's a bit sus. I mean, look at him. He thinks something's going on here. He's a bit not too convinced on what Bike's doing. He probably sees 1 less Harvester back at Bike's base, and alarm bells are ringing. Didn't quite see if he saw that there was anything there. He's not scanning the top. Bike's deciding to go for the Spike, I reckon. Yeah, he's not going for the blue tip Harvester drive. You said he would, but he's not. He's going for a tip Spike. He could have got the tip Spike like 5 minutes ago. The longer Bike holds off with these descents, the less it's going to do for him. Because look at this. Futurama's already on his 3rd ref. Bike Rush, meanwhile, look, he's not even got a 3rd refinery. So this planning that Bike Rush did hasn't worked out. He was hoping that Futurama, like he always does, send a Harvester to the blue tip field. Didn't do it this time. Didn't go blue. Yeah, Futurama just too good with the mind games at the moment. He knows that something's up. And look at this. He'll be like, oh yeah, look at that. I didn't go for the blue tip field. Ha ha ha. I'm going to kill this Spike, but you know what? These 5 descents could have killed this one here like 2 minutes ago. So he got like $1,200 more than what he should have. 1 Spike will fall. Futurama's going to respond to this quickly. Look at that. 2 APCs out on the map already. And those will fall. He's going to try and take the other Spike out too. Futurama needs to ensure that doesn't happen. Bike Rush still retains 2 of his Spikes. Look at that alt Spike texture there. I like the change. Sometimes I like the regular one. Sometimes I like the alt one. I like how I can just flick between them as I wish. Okay, that's a pretty good, very good snipe for Futurama. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Snipe there. Only loses a singular pitbulls unless he stays there with the pitbulls and loses them. He's gonna sit. Oh, what? I was just complimenting you, Futurama. Why do you have to do this to me? Oh my god, that was not. No. Well, it doesn't matter. He still kills the Harvester. 4 pitbulls for a Harvester. That's still okay. But it would have been nice to keep the pitbulls alive. But Bike Rush still is behind. As you see, he's only got 3 refineries. Futurama must be occupied on something else as of right now. Spike looks like it was under attack before. Okay, descent's being destroyed. Okay. Oh, dev tanks. Oh, you know your opponent is really desperate when you're building dev tanks. Dev tanks are never good in any situation unless you're on Tournament Rift. That game that we saw Drive and Futurama play on Tournament Rift, that's when you use dev tanks. Other than that, you build a dev tank when you're being flame rushed, or if you're in positions like this where you're just so behind and your opponent's pushing you with these armored units, you need something that isn't a seeker tank, and that's when you build a dev tank. Other than that, tripods all day. Spike taking some damage right here. It's going to go down most likely. Not garrison with rockets. Oh, Commando. Mastermind out on the map for Bike Rush. Now this may be for a wormhole. So far, Futurama has done good in guessing what Bike is doing. What does Bike have as far as vision of Futurama's base is concerned?
Construction options.
Look at that. He's got the descent to scout the wreck hub. He can see the MCV. Okay, has he got something like in mind here?
Construction complete.
He's got a storm column. He's going to take over that MCV.
Cancelled. Building.
Why would you cancel that?
Construction
Okay, because you need the resources to take over this wreck hub. Okay. Oh, sell the MCV now, man.
Building
Oh,
captured.
wow. Why did you do that?
New construction options. Our base is under attack. Harvester
Are you
under
building
attack.
a crane? I was about to say, that's total BM at this point in time if you build a crane. Guess the MCV, sneaky as ever. Did the commando die? No, the commando's here. He can take out the commando. Oh, he just missed it at the very second there. I like this Overlord's Wrath play. That's wonderful from Bike. Not only does he get over 4 grand of Tiberium in his base, but he also kills the enemy APC army. That's about the best use of Overlord's Wrath you can possibly hope for. People will even use it without killing stuff. It's just good because it's regrowing Tiberium. Marv is out, okay. If have Marv, have chances. That's a famous quote from one legend of Kane's Wrath. 2 gravity stabilizer Storm Rider. Tungsten, please. Get the tungsten shells. Do you have tech? Yeah, you do. Yeah, he's getting it now. MCV back out. Awesome. Slingshots and tungsten shells, you should be able to hold this back out. This worked against Drive, but Drive, he saw this for like 2 minutes and he didn't respond to it. Overlord's Wrath does have regrowable Tiberium. It's not like the Ichor Seed or the Seed Tiberium of Nod. The Overlord's Wrath gives you growing Tiberium, so it comes back once you've harvested it. Is the legend Charles? Yeah, nice one. But the moment Tungsten comes online, these packs are going to do nothing. You have 3 packs here. He knows he has to push or he is in some deep trouble. Futurama not pushing back with his harvester. Okay, good work. No tungsten shell slings. I guess no one likes to build tungsten shell slingshots. I mean, I personally think they're amazing. Also, it's interesting to note that there's no Firehawks in this game. GDI is the faction that kills Skrin with Firehawks, yet we've seen not a singular one. Zonehead's coming in here for Futurama. He's now got the tungsten shells now. Okay, so now the packs are going to do basically nothing. The Marv's going to come in here. He's going to get all this Tiberium, every bit of tip that he wants. Num, 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 num. In fact, if you go in the game dev files for this Marv, it actually says num, num, num for the Tiberium when it harvests. The developers put that in there as a comment. I found it hilarious. A bit of something you may not have known. Harvesters. Oh, look at that. One of them gets destroyed. And these packs haven't really done a whole lot, have they? I mean, they can buff Skrin Air. He needs a couple dev ships. If there's no dev ships to buff, then packs are kind of useless against typical the tungsten shells. Futurama's in a commanding position in this game. It's going to take like a miracle for Bike, I think. Unless, what is this over here? Some sort of huge attack. No, it's just one lightning spike. Is the wormhole recharged yet? Bike Rush waiting for this to tick down because you know what I think he's going to do? He's going to grab all these tripods and he's going to wormhole him into his base. Is he building a Storm Rider here to scout the base to wormhole in the tripods and take out the infrastructure? That's what I see happening. He's gonna do that. But the problem with that is there's zone heads on the map, and this is why Futurama built the zone heads. There's the Storm Rider. So the storm, we can see the shadow here. This Storm Rider is only to spot for the wormhole. Now let's see if Futurama can identify it. One Storm Rider moving in. If it kills his own hit, this Storm Rider, no. Oh, so clutch that was. Does just about save it in the nick of time. There's the wormhole, as we predicted would be a thing. Tech will be going down. Look at that. The Tech Center gets destroyed, taken over, which means Bike could place down a plasma missile battery, which prevents the counter, the zone heads. No garrisons in the Hexapod, however. It's not a triple shock trooper Hexapod, so it's not the end of the world. There is 3 packs just to defend the base. If he built slingshots, he could have just ruffle stomped this, to be honest with you. Slingshots against this would completely own it. These static AAs are not doing a whole lot currently for Futurama. Futurama losing the whole of his base. The Ion Storm buffs units. It buffs your Scrin aircraft. It makes the armor more, and it buffs the damage as well. It also heals your units. There's like 4 different buffs that happen at once. It heals them when they're not in combat though. Otherwise that would be just broken, wouldn't it? Hexapod is very low on health. Now, did the commando get killed? He's building Corruptor Spikers here. I assume it did because look, he's queuing something and it's very slow. Oh my god, this is going to go down if Bike doesn't get this commando out. He's going to get the commando out right now. Is the Hex going to die? Does just get it away in the nick of time. Actually, that wasn't as close as what I thought it was. Down here, there's another tripod taking out this base. Futurama's all over the place. He's got this huge base here, but he's not actually winning. He's not actually pushing in. I mean, Bike did just use his wormhole, so that's a long time before he has a wormhole again to use. Tripod here. Trying to kill this off. I mean, yeah, he does use that, but again. I like how the APM has infinite range, so it just goes all the way across the map. Now, these pack shields before, they used to like flicker 100% of the time, but I fixed that in my 4K add-on. So when these packs move with the shields, they don't flicker all the time. That had to do with the spotlight on the packs. Hexapod being a real pain in the absolute ass here. He's just going to tell a Hex lane. Futurama needs to get those EMP grenades, in my opinion. Or he needs to just push Bike Rush and get him out of this game. Get some freaking slingshots. 4 or 5 tripods. The tripod force is growing up in strength, though one shockwave can end that very quickly. I don't like how he's not building any ends. Yeah, why is he not building slingshots? It's the same as Drive. He just doesn't want to build slingshots. I don't understand it. Just build 5 slingshots and push in. The packs are absolutely useless if you just build slingshots. There's only 3 there. Mind you, there is a sizable force of tripods now. It's not as easy. He needs to catch this Hexapod. He's just going to teleport onto the Juggernauts and crush them. That's what he's going to do. And he's just going to jump in. Is he going to teleport in? Nah, he's not going to be able to. Jumps over here. He should teleport it back and get it healed up once again. Now, the good thing for Futurama is that he is harvesting in this middle field. Drive, why do you hate slingshot? I don't know. No, he likes slingshots. He just forgot to build them that one game. Let's not bully Drive. Oh, look at that Mechapeds. Charles is he hates this unit for some reason. Never builds them. He has tungsten and AA batteries though. The thing is, you can't push out with tungsten AA batteries. What if you sit in your base with tungsten AA batteries, your opponent with this Hexapod here is just gonna jump onto your Juggernauts every 2 minutes and end up doing this. By the way, he's got a rifle squad. Did he just use his valuable mind control on a rifle squad? Wow. I can't believe he let this one slide. Like, there was only 3 packs. He just had to build some freaking slingshots. He would be kicking himself out of this game. Slingshots and a couple Juggernauts pushing into his base would have done that. This is the sort of game where if Senna was playing, it would be a completely different game, because Senna doesn't make those decisions like that. Senna always goes for the base trade whenever he can. Even if he doesn't win it, he's super aggressive with it. Okay, this game is not over just yet. The Hexapod is elite. Oh man, it can't even shoot. These Juggernauts are not in the... Oh, it's going to go heroic as well. He's so close to heroic. This Hexapod has killed all of the army. That's so gross. Is it going to go down? This one Jug, the moment that falls, is going to get... is going to be elite. Yeah. Yeah, that's 3 Juggernauts down. Another one's going to fall. Doesn't get heroic, but that's it anyway. Oh my god, that was a throw. Alright, so this is the potentially the final game of this best of 7 show, well, not show match, the series. $70 up for grabs in this one. And this map will be a mountain past the famous map where I defeated Bike Rush in the Kane's Draft World Championship 2014. That was what, 7-8 years ago? How time flies. 8 years ago. That is a long time. And we're back to witness this great game between Bike Rush owns down here as the red GDI, Futurama as the cyan black hand in the top of this map. There he is. It's a pity we didn't catch his game against Bike Rush on Highlands earlier, where I DC'd, because I felt like that was probably the best game he played, and yet I DC'd and couldn't finish watching it. It was unfortunate. Anyways, he is over here. He has to win 3 games from this point on to take this series. Bike Rush, he's already ahead in this series 3-1. There's only 1 game left for him to take the series. It's do or die for Futurama once again. And this is a Nod versus a GDI game. Unless he picked Mark of Kane, I wasn't paying attention. No, it's going to be Black Hand. Wow, Black Hand. You can tell I'm getting a bit tired now. Casting is, well, it's pretty exhausting. 3 hours non-stop. And these games have been high caliber, high octane. Not as many rushes as I thought there would be. Black Hand used to be the faction where you'd rush all the time with. Nowadays, no one's rushing with them. Because I feel like all the rushes have been worked out, all the timings have been worked out. You can tell based on the scouting pattern of your opponent, he's probably going for a flame tank rush. He's probably going for some bikes. He's probably ecoing up. You can tell these things based on signs on the map. If your opponent goes light on scouts, you know that there's nothing coming, or most likely it's a raider buggy. But that's when you see the mind games happen. Like for instance, Bike Rush knows that and he gets into people's heads. He builds a raider buggy and then goes for a flame tank afterwards. So the opponent thinks that he's going just for a scout when it's just it's a flame tank in disguise. That's one thing that you can do. 4 harvesters here. You can't even anti-scout with Black Hand nowadays. How can you rush? Yeah, I agree. I think that the Cabals need to be buffed in some way. I believe the range nerf should be undone. The thing was too much. What do you call it? Or just undo the freaking draft nerf. Make it 5 out of 6 squad members, because at the moment it seems like GDI just kills Black Hand scouts cost effectively, even though Black Hand is supposed to have a small advantage in the scouting game early on. And it's really hard bringing along pairs everywhere with your Cabals. The range may be the way to go, or the squad size may be reverted. Not sure what is the best route to take with Black Hand. But people are still picking them despite the nerfs. So they're not terrible. I think only against GDI they suffer. Okay. GDI is already on the offensive. Black Hand here is being bullied around. It's not Black Hand anymore that's harassing GDI. It's now the other way around. The GDI player has a 3rd refinery. Even units attacking the Black Hand player. Futurama has nothing. He's going flame tanks. Is there any flame tank over here on the list? There's a flame tank right here, undefended, but Bike Rush does use the fence. He's using the repair drones. Oh, that's dirty. It's really dirty, isn't it? Because look at the buff. The buff of this fence is insane. Space, are you watching this? That should be a dead refinery. Because this structure here, when the laser fence gets cast on it, it should only buff the armor until it reaches 66% health. After it's 66% health, the fence visually disappears, and it's supposed to remove the upgrade. Now, if it removes the upgrade, it's also supposed to remove the armor buff as well. So it's actually way more powerful, that fence, than what it should be. And it's insane. It's the most broken thing in the game. Hammerheads with AP ammo and the freaking laser fence. Those are the 2 things that disrupt balance too much. flame tank here. Bike Rush didn't notice this one, so he may actually be able to do some structure harass. Though it is dying very quick, very slowly. Why is that? Look at that health go down so slowly. It's like you're trying to kill a super weapon, and it's just a refinery. Futurama just only now getting down a refinery on this build. There's hammerheads out, AP ammo soon to be completed. A bunch of infantry here as well. Not quite enough though to deal the damage that Futurama would want. The laser fence means he can't deal damage to this base. Flame tank does nothing. Futurama just barely gets up in expansion. The Mantis comes out. And you know that things are going bad when you see Mantis. The absolute worst unit you can build. There's nothing worse than it. It's just the health. I hate how weak it is. The armor is really terrible. It's like a stealth tank, except it's not stealth. So what's the reason the stealth tank has less armor than other units is because you can't see it. This here sucks because it has the same armor as that, and you see it on the screen. And plus, it's slower. The Mantis trash talk, yeah. I don't like a Mantis, man. They should be buffed. Another laser fence coming down saves the refinery. This is the things I feel like should be changed in the patch. The laser fence needs to be changed in the patch as well. Harvester burning down a refinery. I mean, if he had Purifying Flame, that would be possible. Now, Bike Rush is going for his epic unit. Futurama, despite his eco situation, but look at how much eco Bike's harvesters compared to Futurama. Bike also hasn't seemingly lost any of his hammerheads either. Hammerhead stalking all over this map. Yeah, the Mantis should be as fast as... Well, maybe not as fast as Slingshot, but definitely not as bad as now. If it's slow, it should be armored. Because logically, slow units are more armored because they move slow because their mass is more. The Mantis is really light armored, and yet it moves slow as well. Flame tanks just rolling in constantly all the time. Futurama trying to get that lucky flame tank into the base. He will find a harvester. Nice catch. The Mantis survives. Snipers being called in. He can use this to crush the snipers, by the way, but the Pitbulls will stop it. Shadow tanks, okay, interesting choice. Oh, I guess it does make sense because there's a load of infantry here. These shadow tanks, again, just use a decoy army. It's a bug, I know. Decoy army is a bug. You know you're not abusing it, but when you're decoying up rockets, you're using a bug. And he needs to do it. No, he's not doing it. Look at that army there. Look at that army just got totally trashed. Like it didn't even exist. It just got deleted off the screen. GDI Black Hand. That's the current status quo when it comes to that matchup. Okay, I feel like at this point the laser fence needs to be nerfed. I wanted this nerfed in R18, okay? I put it on the list. And it was supposed to be nerfed like 2 patches ago, and it's still not nerfed.